Hello, people. We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 179, and it is
your girl Tasha, the co-host is with the most.
And it's your boy International Walt, and we are back for another episode of us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Podcast Index, Podcast Podchaser, Google Podcast Player, FM, on the platforms you can see us on, catch us on, type us in, and we pop up.
Is that like a ladies first thing now?
What?
You go to me first?
No, that's when I mess you up because you think I go one way, then I go the other way.
Oh, okay.
See,
but I stay ready, so I have to get ready.
I'm like Marlo on them. You think it's one way,
but it's the other way.
Type us into any of those platforms, and we are back. We'll pop right up, and yes, we are back.
How are you?
Right to the show. How are you? I'm good. You want me to go first? Okay.
Sure,
cool.
sure.
I am mentally, I feel like an 8. I'm just solid.
But 8 is like the lowest we can be. Like.
Yeah, but that's why I said I'm just solid. I'm not like bum ho or bad, but just an 8. I'm just solid. Finances is a 9. Always leaving room for improvement. I'm getting improvement. I'm not gonna stop till I see improvement. Work is. Let me see, how is work? 8. I was lonely today by myself. I did not like it. I was stressed out. I was hot. I was talking to myself. I was lonely.
You know what's so weird? You're not a people person. You don't like people. You don't like to be around people, but you like your people.
I was ready to say, I like to be around certain people. Don't say I'm not a people person, because who likes to be around people that they don't know? Like, who just wants to be around a crowd of people just because you like people? Babe,
some people do that. Like, they'll go to, like, a festival by themselves, or they'll go to... It's funny, this Facebook group... well, it's not just Facebook. It's called Black Women New Jersey. So it's like this group of black women in New Jersey, blah, blah, blah. I found out about them last year. They had, like, a Black Women Beach Day, and I think I'm going to go this year. But they had a gala a few months ago. And some people just, mind you, these are, for the most part, strangers. And some people was like, I didn't know anybody, but I bought my ticket. I had a great time and, meeting people. And it was good. Some people do that. Me, I think I would go to a concert by myself, because that's like an individual experience.
Yes.
I would go to a meal by myself.
I would go to a movie.
But not like a gala where, like, you have to talk to people. Now, if it's for work and it's a networking event, that's different. But just to be like in a social setting, I wouldn't go by myself. No fucking way.
I'm not cut that.
But some people will.
I think they're in the minority. I don't think it's a lot of people that do that. I think, generally speaking, most people like to be around their tribe.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying?
But some people, how can I say this? You have a tribe, but you don't even like to really be around them. You have your picks. Like,
no, I have a limited tribe, but I do be around them. I'm around 2 of my tribesmen all the time. Yeah, but I'm around one of my tribettes all the time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when I say you're not a people person, you're more introverted.
Yes.
Yeah, you're more introverted. Yes. But you do enjoy being with your people. Yes. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, I do. I do like being with my people. Physically, I feel like a 9. I feel like a 9. What about you?
Mentally, I'm probably like a 8.5. Nothing like I don't feel bad or anything. Like, just things in my mind. But so I'm like an 8.5.
That's how I felt.
Finances, a 8. I'm going to say that because, some room for improvement. Nothing's wrong. God is blessing us, but that. And then work is a 9, and it's really great. Some of the work-life harmony, stops it from being a 10, but it's great. It's good. It's weird. Sometimes the things that you ask for and it seems like you don't get it. And then as things evolve in your life, whether it's career, personal, whatever, you realize. And today I had like an aha moment, because I remember before I had this position I was seeking out like a training position. And then I remember talking to the manager of the training department, and long story short, she was like, your position is already too high and we don't have any positions that high. And
any
you
training
can't
positions.
Yeah.
You're looking for a different job.
No, this was before I had this job.
I was about to say, Jesus
No.
Christ.
I love my job. This before I had this job. And because my previous position, it was like, I just want to do something different. But she was like, I would love to work with you. Like but she was like, we don't have any positions that are as high as yours, and you can't be demoted. Mm-hmm. So, and then I think fast forward to the position that I have now. Not that I'm a trainer, but like today I had to do a professional development with a school district, a professional development event or conference kind of thing, professional development training for a school district. And it kind of thought, like, as I was driving home, it was like an aha moment, like that, like, this is like, I like kind of being in that teaching environment kind of thing. And it kind of ties in. So I'm like, God, that's why they say, his no is not a rejection. Sometimes it's a redirection. So that was just my aha moment.
Wows and woes.
I didn't finish yet. Physically, I'm a 8.52. This week has kind of my schedule's gotten in the way of me working out, but other than that, I feel good. Otherwise, like, nothing is hurting, thank God. So I feel good. Wows and woes. My wow is, I'm just gonna say, having another week of life. Thank God. The fragility of life, it seems, always pokes its head to remind you. Mm-hmm. Being able to see my husband, knowing that, everybody doesn't have that blessing.
Privilege, luxury.
Yeah, that blessing. And I'm just extremely grateful but for the grace of God, our situation could be different, and I'm extremely grateful. And I'm not saying everybody doesn't have that blessing in the sense of having a husband, but there are some people who have lost their husbands. So I'm just extremely grateful for that. My woe is, y'all, my baby got hurt. My Aubrey, she had a bike accident at home, where they live, and she got scuffed up pretty bad. Pretty bad. Like, her left side, like down her arm, on her elbow a little bit, her hip. Yeah, my baby got scuffed up.
Her hip too?
Yeah. And she told me that her hip hurt. Like, she said, the wounds and stuff wasn't feeling too bad, but her shoulder and her hip hurts. Like, she fell and hit the ground. Her bike, you riding a bike and you squeeze the brakes too hard, so it's like that. And her bike flipped over. She landed on her shoulder. Her shoulder and her head.
Yeah. So yeah, she might need a MRI. Yeah. When the swelling go down, you got to get an MRI.
So yeah, my baby got hurt. It's just like, Dad, I know that's like, part of life. The bumps and bruises. Her older siblings didn't. There's two over her, two under her. The oldest ones didn't really encounter that, and they
never had casts or stitches, did they?
Mm-mm.
Not from like
accidents and injuries and stuff like that. So it's like, Dad, my baby got hurt, and I know it's part of childhood, but
I always thought that was my thing. Like, kids break bones, a lot of them, and I never broke a bone, but I had. You had stitches, a lot of stitches 13 times. Yeah. So, yeah, I always thought that was my thing.
And it's kind of, not to, I know there are some girls who are tomboys.
9 months.
Yeah, some kids who are tomboys. I think that's a boy that, like, I don't know, my sisters and I, we never had a cast, like, but we didn't do, like, the kind of extra physical stuff. Now, as a kid, I played outside, steal the bacon. We played red light, green light.
You ever had stitches?
No, not from like a wound. No, like, surgical, but not from a wound. Yeah. What's your wows and woes?
I'm gonna use that as a woe too. Aubs got hurt. I care about Aubs. It's a shame. That's our kids. I saw her shoulder on FaceTime. She got fucked up pretty bad. Yeah. I was like, damn. I just thought it was gonna be like a little scuff, but yeah, it's like her whole goddamn shoulder got raw. Man. I had road rash injuries like that before, and
Okay.
they take a long ass time to heal.
Yeah.
Because the scab is so thin.
Yeah.
And then you shower every night, like it just creates a whole problem. So I feel bad for Albs. So let that be one of my woes. And just to piggyback on what you said, like I'm just grateful that I'm here for another week. Things around us, like I said, God keeps our family all healthy. He keeps us from having bad phone calls, and I know that we have people that we know that lose people, have people in hospitals, and it's just a blessing, and we want to recognize that it's a blessing and say thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yep. Where we at? Revolt. Talk about Puffy. Revolt was sold to its employees. Now, I don't know how. This is a good thing if the deal is good, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you sell your stock options.
Yeah, big picture of them, like 15 of them. So it should just be like a good thing if everything is good. If somewhere in the fine print says, I get this back if I'm able to, and you can't resist it, then that's not right.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like if I'm able to get this back and be owner, y'all have to give it back to me.
Yeah, but I don't even think that you can force somebody to do that. You know what I mean? It's like an account. Like it's like
you could put it in the paperwork though, like that you own this asterisk.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're talking about stocks and finances, you can't unless it's. I mean, I don't know. I don't. To my knowledge, you can't say. I mean, it's just like I'm going to give you this money, but it's in your account. It's in your name. But if something happened and my circumstances change, I can take that money back from you. And it's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, teams that, like, it happens in sports all the time. Like, when you get a signing bonus or something, you get $80, $90 million. They put it in your account. Okay, like Aaron Hernandez, he did a murder. They took that shit right back out of his account. Like, so, and now that's an extreme situation, but there's been situations where guys have done domestic violence and stuff like that, and they took partial of their money back. But
I don't think they can take it out your account. They may take it out of other money that they owe you. Because think about this: if let's say you give me $100 million, right? And you deposit that into my account, blah, you do whatever to send me that money. I can just move that somewhere else. So when you think you're gonna come back to take it from me, if it ain't there, how you gonna take it from me?
True.
So that's why I'm saying, I don't think that he can come back and take it. There could be some other caveats, like maybe you can't like if you quit the job or something, within 6 months you can't cash out. I don't know. There could be some other caveats, but this could be a great thing anytime an employee has like stock options or stock ownership. It's a great thing if the business does well,
right? Because
as it increases in value, then that's money that is increasing. Now, are they the?
I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't see a lot of things on Revolt. Like when you think about shows now, I don't think there's a lot of TV shows or broadcasts on Revolt right now. There's still a company. I'm sure it's doing something, but I don't watch a lot of stuff on Revolt. There's not a lot of stuff being advertised to watch on Revolt.
And was the full company sold to employees, or was his portion? Because I mean, that makes me think. Now, do they have, are they in a position to make decisions, or do they have minority ownership and there's someone else that has majority ownership?
I would think this is business as usual. I would think that the CEO is who they are, and the COO is who they are, and, the president is who they are, and everything just runs. It's just an exchange of, like you said, stocks and money.
So his stocks to them. Okay. Now, I mean, it's a great thing, especially if you have some loyal employees. Hell yeah. It's a great thing for the employees.
It's a bad thing if in a year or two it's in the toilet.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't lose anything necessarily. You just didn't gain anything, and you still got your paycheck. So I mean, yeah, and it's probably, I guess it's a matter of doing that because he could have sold it to some other millionaire or something. Right. So rather than do that, it's probably trying to show like a measure of good faith, trying to get a badge of like, oh, he's still a good guy.
I'm giving something away and not looking for something for it.
Yeah. Let me say this about Puffy. Why is it like I've seen so many comments and it blows my mind and it makes me kind of feel bad, even though she probably doesn't care, for like Beyonce and Jay-Z, right? And this has specifically been geared towards Beyonce, but kind of drag Jay-Z in it.
Where do you see these comments at? And under what?
On like threads.
Okay.
Like, which I don't really participate in threads that much, but they kind of force you to because you can like see it on Instagram. So I'll click on it. But I've seen quite a few people mention like, oh, I know Beyonce had to know what was going on, or like, why hasn't Beyonce spoken out about this? And it blows my mind because why is and I'm not saying anybody should be brought into his drama because it's him, but why does nobody have that energy towards Mary J. Blige? Why does nobody have that energy towards Naomi Campbell? It's like, y'all
they
just
do have the energy towards Naomi Campbell. I've heard that quite a few times. That why haven't she spoken up? And a lot of rumors I hear is that she's on the same type of shit. So I have.
Well, I know she was part of the Jeffrey Epstein visitor list and all that. I hadn't seen anybody mention anything about Naomi Campbell. I've seen Jay-Z mentioned several times. I've seen Beyonce mentioned several times, and it's like, you've never seen like Beyonce buddying up. If she's at an event and Puff is there, she's with her husband, but it's not like she's been in pictures like this my brother the way that Mary has over the years. So why don't people have that same energy towards her? Or why don't people have that same energy towards DJ Khaled or even like an Usher or something? Like, why is Beyonce getting that kind of...
Because she's the biggest star. That's why I think that the energy is geared towards her. And because they were friends, and because... And the reason why I think nobody has the energy to say anything is because they're in the pictures.
No, I'm not saying why the people aren't speaking up. I'm saying why
I get what you're saying. Yeah, but I mean, she's the biggest star. That's why it's like, okay, why haven't you said anything? Why haven't you said this was wrong? Why haven't you denounced him? That's what they want.
But why? Yeah, I would think Mary J. Blige before Beyonce.
Yeah, I would think so too. Mary's been along for the whole journey.
Yeah.
You know, side by side, like in the studio.
Family pictures, like with his kids.
But you would assume, you would just assume, and I know Mary has a past, but you just would assume, and I'm going to say that for the third time, that he wouldn't do nothing like that around Mary. That if Mary saw something, who we know Mary to be and what she been through, if she saw a girl getting hurt, I think she would say something. And I'm just going to leave that there. People may turn a blind eye to shit. I don't know. I don't know Mary personally. But I'm just saying from the outside looking in, I would assume, again, that she probably would say something. Or he would know the people I can do this around, and she probably ain't one of them.
And not saying that he did it around her, but just like so many other people knew about it, I'm sure she knew,
heard the rumors,
but you never saw like any. Now there may be some spurts of time where they wouldn't be together, but there was always, or at least appeared to be.
She always came back to him to get the hit. She always came back to him.
But even like the family stuff, like she was very close with the girls, and maybe you got to separate that because they lost their mom. So of course she probably
wasn't that her best friend.
No, Kimora.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, and she was pretty vocal. She was pretty vocal in a subliminal way. So, you know, I know that's oxymoronic, but she let it be known without letting it be known that she letting it be known.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, it was just one of them things where, you know, it's like, okay, like, why? Again, this energy towards Beyonce is weird, but it is what it is.
It's par for the course. That's why it's so probably easy for her to ignore, because it's like, what the hell do you want me to say? Like, I don't have to get on camera or tweet or Instagram.
Yeah, I would never expect her to,
you know, or pull my music down that I have with Bad Boy. Like, I don't have to do any of that shit. This is the same thing like with when they used to mess with what's the lady who do the houses with the Target shit.
Oh,
like just wanting you to say something, just wanting you to say something. And it's like, nah, I'm not.
Speaking of Bad Boy, we seen Bad Boys.
We did. We
the
did
movie.
See Bad Boys.
This is the first time we've been to the movies like in a year or so.
We will go see a movie when we want to.
Yeah.
We will go see
what did you think about it?
I thought it was extremely funny. I thought it had a lot of cameos in it. Yeah, it had a lot of cameos, and I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but a lot of cameos in it. And the cameos was quick. That's what you call a cameo. Cameo. Like, as soon as you see them, they dead. Yeah, it was a funny movie. Martin was hilarious. I'm always looking for Martin to be on his shit because he is one of my favorite comedians, and I want to see him do good.
He didn't disappoint.
Yeah, he did not disappoint. He was funny as hell. I didn't like some of the stuff in there where they where he was in the street and running around. Like that was a part of his history where he caught the stroke.
Yeah.
So I don't like, you know, like I don't know if that's written into the script or something he played into, but that's like, you know, it's
I didn't even correlate the two.
Yeah, like that's not cool. And if he was okay with it, then I guess I'm okay with it. But it's like you see shit like that. Like, why is he running in the highway? That's when he was in the heat and he caught the stroke, and then he went away for that long time. Wait.
It's funny because I know we talked about this, and I was with my co-workers a couple days ago or yesterday, and we were talking about the movie, and the first thing somebody said was like, "What's up with Martin? Like, he's just something wrong. He ain't right." And I was like, I said that to my husband, and they were talking about like his slurred speech. They was talking about how he. This sounds weird, not like laughing because I hope there's no medical issues. But somebody was like, his face and body don't match. Like his face looked like from Big Mama's house. Like
he's on medication. He had a stroke 10 years ago.
I understand, but it was just evident.
Like I'm still there's some recovery. That's why his specials, and he's going on a comedy tour. So he announced like a 50-city tour. So if we'll see.
But I feel like we've seen, I know we have. You remember we went to that comedy show where he was like the host.
Yeah.
So
he was bringing out DC,
and that was after he had that movie episode.
That was years after that.
And he sound normal.
Yeah, but he was coming out hosting. He was doing 5 minutes at a time. So we was getting a peek of him. It wasn't like he was coming out doing an hour. He was just. But I'm just
saying, in a movie,
he was on it though when we was at that show. Now that I think about it, his jokes and now it's like
was on something. His
I didn't get that. I still look at him.
And again,
like,
somebody said this, and I before I said it, but when they said it, I'm like, oh my God, I said the same thing.
I hope nothing wrong with him, but I just attribute it to he had a stroke 10 years ago, and he's still. You know, that's why you don't see him. He pops out every once in a while. He pops out for Bad Boys and all that kind of shit. But, you know, I hope nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, his speech definitely sounds slurred, but I thought it was hilarious. It was action-packed. It was like a good, like it was still relevant. Like, you know, this is the 4th installment, but it still held up in the times. Like it wasn't, you know, corny. My only complaint, my only negative feedback, and this is not really about the movie per se. Will Smith, let go of the Beijing, bro. Like, let go of the Beijing. Really, like we know we know you're Will Smith. You're almost 60. It looks crazy. Let go of the Beijing. Like but
Mike Lowry don't got no.
Mike Lowry been Mike Lowry for the last 20 years too. Mike Lowry got some grays. Yeah. Mike Lowry grew up with Martin kids who is now grown. Yeah. Like, so come on, let the salt and pepper come through. That is so distracting to like just keep seeing. And it doesn't look like he has, and I don't know if he does or not, but it doesn't look like he has like fake hair, like a toupee or transplants. It just looked like your hair shouldn't be that jet black.
Yeah, you got that DJ Khaled.
It's so distracting, and it don't match your face. Like you're aging gracefully, and I'm not saying that like in a shady way and don't match your face, but like you're aging gracefully. You look great to be a 50-something-year-old man. Let the Beijing go.
What did you think about the movie?
I said it was great. The movie was great. I think it held up. It was funny. It was action-packed. It definitely kept your attention. I am one that will nod off quickly if a movie get a little slow, and I didn't feel like that at all. It was very... I like the flow of it. It was good. I don't want to give it away either. I like the cameos. There's one cameo that you know it was good. It was better than I expected, or like some cameos from this person have been in the past. But there are some people that have a voice that they can't, they got a bad voice because it's like no matter what they do, you can't, they're that character. You can put them in a cow costume, you can put them in fishnets, you can put them butt naked.
Put them in a fat suit.
It's like their voice is so, and I don't know if I would be like that. Like you have some actors and actresses who are very versatile. Like like Denzel, when he does a role, he is that role. Like whether he is in Training Day, whether he was in Malcolm X, like you forget about other movies that he's done when you're watching him in that role.
Yeah, he's not Alonzo from Training Day when you watch Glory. Yeah, he's not
Malcolm X when you watch Equalizer.
Yeah, he's not.
Like but there are some. Even my guy who I love, Kevin Hart. Love him. He's the same. Whether it's drama or comedy, like his voice, his mannerisms, he's the same. And he can't. But it worked for him.
That would be you, because you could probably get dialed up or Hollywood makeup like a guy who does movies and be a different person, and I couldn't recognize you. But as soon as you talk, I will know who you are. Matter, I would even go so far as to say, as soon as you smile, you wouldn't even have to say nothing. As soon as you cheese, I would be like, that's Tasha. Like, y'all made her a man. What the fuck y'all do to her?
That is hilarious. Yep. That's because you're my soulmate.
I was ready to say, that's because I'm your soulmate?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why you will recognize our souls will find each other no matter where we are in the world, no matter what we're doing in the world. Our souls will find each other. You talked about you at one point wanting to like go into the military, and I could have been, I wanted to go to school in Puget Sound over in Washington State, not because I knew anything about
Puget Sound.
That was the name of it. I wanted to get. I used to, y'all know when you like about to graduate high school and stuff, you start getting all kinds of college material and stuff. I knew nothing about it. It's probably not one black person. I'm
about to say that would have been the whitest.
It was the furthest place I could think about getting away from my home. Yeah. So it was like, we live here. That place is here. Yeah. I want to go there.
That's like the longest mileage.
Yeah, it was like I want to go there.
Where we live, yeah.
But I mean, again, even if I had and I started a life out there, our souls would have found each other.
That leads me to the question is, can your soulmate marry someone else? So this is what I'm thinking is, if your soulmates, and this is, I don't like to base stuff on us, but I'm going to do that for the sake of the conversation. We were together, we were apart, we were together, we were apart, and then we were together again. But through all of that, in hindsight, when at the end of this, like now, we know that we were supposed to be together, and that some way, like it's not like we spoke about it, but it's like you wasn't waiting for me, I wasn't waiting for you. But if somebody is your real soulmate, that means you end up with them. So do you think your soulmate can marry somebody else if like they're not, because do you think everybody has a soulmate?
I think everybody does, but I don't think everybody ends up with their soulmate. I think I think more people than not don't end up with it for various reasons. You could have somebody in your life who is a platonic friend, and you may know in your heart of hearts, like, you are in love with that person, and it may be something just stopping you from crossing that line. Y'all both may feel the same way, but never take it there for a multitude of reasons. You may end up marrying somebody else. She may end up marrying somebody else. And again, that may truly.
Those are those moments where I go get married to Felicia. You go get married to Eric. But you always got my heart, and I always got your heart. And anytime we see each other, like, it's all love.
And y'all may never see each other. Like, y'all may, your lives may go separate ways and go so far separate ways, but you may always be on each other's mind. And it just
don't you feel that when you're marrying this person, it's like, I got this yearning for this other person.
I think so. But
I'm marrying this person now, and I love her, and I'm standing here about to marry her. But damn it, if I seen Tasha next week, I'd fucking sleep with her. Like, that is crazy to think that.
Why'd you have to make it so carnal?
It's not.
With her,
well, not. I would be with her. I would go to dinner with her. That sounds so. Like, what do you want me to do? I would go to the park with her.
Because you let us.
Go to the carnival. Like,
because you let us.
At the end of the night, that's what it would be. So
you let us.
That's what I'm saying.
Say I love it here.
That's what I'm saying.
Say I love it here.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Say I love it here. But I mean, yeah. But some people, I think, again, for different reasons. That's not to say the person that you may be marrying, you may have found some love and affection for them too. But I think also that's why a lot of marriages end up in divorce, because people aren't with who they truly should be with. So many people marry because they settle, right? Or some people marry because, you know, some women may feel like, oh my God, he asked me, and maybe, you know, I may never get asked again. In the back of their mind, they may have 9 doubts and 9 reasons to say no, 1 reason to say yes. But that thought of, maybe you care about this person, so you don't want to hurt their feelings. Maybe that thought of, am I ever going to get married again? If it's like an age thing. Like, some people feel like when they're in their 30s or maybe even 40s.
They have to get married.
Yeah. So there's so many people that get married that don't really want to, or they don't want to marry the person they're marrying, and they just do it just to do it. So not everybody ends up with their soulmate. I think everybody has one. But
if you married somebody else and was with them for 23 years, as we have been, you think you always would think about me?
Yes. Yes.
Did you always think about me?
I did in a sense.
And at what times? Because I understand if you I was with somebody, you were with with somebody, and like, of course you wasn't thinking about me on a day-to-day basis, but what were the moments that made you just think like, I'm thinking about Jamar? I mean,
yeah, it wasn't like...
Was it like an argument or something, and it's like, okay, now I'm thinking about him? Or was it like...
No, I mean, like you said, it wasn't like a day-to-day thing when you were on my mind, but it was like, well, one, you got to remember, too, the sort of connection that we had with your previous boss. Mm-hmm. So, like, we kind of always were in each other's lives, even indirectly. Right. So it was more so of that wanting to know that you were okay. You know, just caring. Because it wasn't on a carnal level at that point, even though, once it was, but it was more so I cared about you. Like, I wanted you to be okay. Like, I remember helping you move, that time, and it was like, I just wanted you to be okay. Like, and I can't say that I knew at that point, like, you would be my husband. Absolutely not. But I did know once you were in my life that you were supposed to be, and that I didn't know how, but that you always would be. And then, we went our separate ways. And this is a bad thing, I'll say, for me, where how my detachment is. Like, y'all, if my feelings is hurt by something, like, I can act like I have never known you in life, like erase you from my memory, which is not a good thing. So it was like I kind of had to detach because it hurt, but then, here we are. Fate let us. I don't want to say fate. What was supposed to happen happened. We found our way back, or you found your way back.
I think if I would have married somebody else, I would have always thought about you. And I don't care how carnal you make it sound or I make it sound, but anytime I would have saw you, no matter who I was with, I would have been like...
Well, okay, let's talk about this, right? Because our initial relationship was not physical. We were friends. Right. So do you mean from that point, or do you mean once it became physical and then we went our separate ways?
From that point, from when we was friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't necessarily a carnal thing at that point. And like, y'all, we used to spend hours on the phone together, like just talking, watching TV together. He introduced me to Boy Meets. Well, I don't want to say introduced me, because I used to watch Boy Meets World, but not. He like reintroduced me. We used to watch it. It was like teenagers, but we were grown. He introduced me to Emerald Lagasse. He used to always watch that. Bam! when he had his cooking show. I never really watched that before. Like, we really were friends. Like, and that's what it was. And yeah, and I think too, without like going into too much detail, I think the way that you pursued me, like outside of our friendship, was very direct. Like, you let it be known what you wanted, and you know.
Was that a good thing or a bad thing? Had you ever had that happen before? Because like now, if you met somebody and they were very direct like that, that would take you back. It would be something you have to think about. You wouldn't, like, just knowing you wouldn't dive into something the way you dived into me or my situation. Not just my situation, but even if I didn't have my situation looming over my head, I still was a guy with a little ass apartment who didn't have nothing in it. Like, even if I wasn't. But
there was still like a sense of, which just sounds so weird. It was just like a sense of security that I found, or that I felt in your presence. And it was not to say like I was using you in this sense, because
just
we
say
both
what you gonna say.
I know, but I'm just saying because we both needed each other. It was almost like,
well, you don't know what I needed, but say what you needed.
It was like, this is my rescue. And even without me knowing that I needed to be rescued, I knew that I needed you and us into. It was almost like, come to the light. Like, I don't know why I'm going to this light, but something is drawing me here, and I feel like I need it, and it's good for me. I'm not scared of it. It's different. I don't know what's on the other side, but it was like I felt like I needed that to whatever. I didn't know what that was, but so I think that's what it was. Your pursuit of me just felt like it just felt different than anything had ever felt from anyone else before. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I was good.
You,
I was good.
Yeah, you and you know what I think it was too? You were serious. Like, that's what, okay, you weren't, it didn't feel like you was trying to play with me at all.
Mm-mm.
Like, you were serious about what you wanted. You were serious about what, what you wanted with me, with us. And it didn't feel like you was trying to play me. You were honest in a moment of when you were unsure, and we went our separate ways, and then you were very serious and direct about what you wanted at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, that's what it was like. Like, I think I need this. I don't know why I need this, but
I don't know what it's gonna be, but
yeah,
it's different.
Yeah, I need this, and you rescued me.
You rescued me too, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a lost soul my damn self. Where am I going? I watch a lot of podcasts, right? So I watch a bunch of different podcasts. I listen to a bunch of different streams and all this kind of stuff. And there was a question on a podcast that spoke to how women think about men, and they consider it the bear question. So a poll of women were asked, would they rather be in the woods stuck, nobody in the woods except you and a man you don't know, or a bear? Most women said a bear.
No.
And let me finish. And it blew men's minds, because it was like, wow, the way that y'all treat men outside of the woods, that whole dynamic, to think that you would think if you're alone in the woods with a strange man, you would take your chances with a bear, then, because a man might hurt you, he might do a bunch of things, so he might make you do a bunch of shit, he could rape you, all kinds of stuff that he could do to you as a human. A bear, you would probably get away from. It ain't really hunting you. If it ain't hungry, if you ain't bothering it, it ain't gonna bother you. And just to think a group of women would think, okay, I would much rather be in the woods with a bear than a man I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, you're asking the wrong person, because I don't play around with no animals. Like, I know what to expect, or I'm not gonna say what to expect. I know what the potential outcomes could be with a human. Either he could do some harm to me, he could try, or he could not. He could be nice to me. Like, I know how humans operate. I don't know how a bear operates, and I don't want to take my chances. I don't. And if the bear could not bother me, but he could. And the chances of me winning with a bear are probably slim to none, where the chances of me winning with another human who has skin, who has eyeballs, who has testicles, like things that I can use to harm him, I'm taking my chances with a man before I'm taking my chances with a bear. That sounds crazy to me. Like, a bear could shred me to pieces. Like, this man,
but he might
I could
not want to. That's what I'm saying.
But the man might not want to
bears,
bother me. That's what I'm saying. The man could not want to.
What if he does? So let's just put it all on the table. I receive that you're saying he could not. But what if he does?
That's
you know what
saying.
what would be like if a man who wanted to harm you could harm you every fucking day that y'all in the woods together for as long as y'all there together.
What I'm saying, there's a 50-50 chance with both of them, right?
True.
I'm taking my 50-50 with a human before I'm taking my 50-50 with a bear.
That.
Because, like you said, this man could try to bother me every day and I could potentially win, or I could kill him if that's the outcome. The bear could try to bother me one time and I'll have no more chances. I'm done.
But what if the bear try to bother you once every 2 weeks and this man is trying to bother you every day? He's hunting around the woods looking for you daily.
I'm taking my chances with a human over an animal.
I think you're saying that, not thinking outside the box.
No, I'm absolutely thinking outside the box because, again,
I just think it's the animal aspect, and you're like, I don't give a shit if it was a donkey. I said fucking animal. I'm not taking my chances out there.
Because with a donkey, I don't feel like I would be killed. And you're talking about an animal that could kill me, right? I mean, I'm not thinking about some little small baby bear. I'm thinking about a big black bear or a big whatever is the dangerous
opposed to a man who could enslave you because you're the only woman out here, and I could rape you, do shit to you, stick shit in you. Or like you said, or not, but I also can do all this other shit out here too.
But I think as far as me trying to protect myself, I stand a better chance. Not saying I would win, but if I had to fight both, I feel like I stand a better chance potentially winning over the man than the bear. I could maybe rip his balls off, if he's trying to hurt me. I could dig his eyeball out his face if he's trying to hurt me. With the bear, it could be nothing I could do to...
Bears only want to hurt you when they feel threatened. You ain't going to be trying to hurt the bear.
I'm not going to be rationalizing all that while the bear's trying to attack me, while he's shooting.
That's what I'm saying. He's not going to just attack you.
Well, the man, and again, I don't want to...
The man will. He'll be like, oh shit, a woman out here? Woman? Like, it's the only woman out here? Ain't nobody out here watching me? We in the woods alone?
But let me just say, too, and in all transparency, and this is nothing new to my husband, I am one who is hyper vigilant when it comes to men. Because of my own trauma, because of other people's trauma that I know. So I'm not like just giving men a hall pass to say, oh, they're harmless creatures. I'm going to be on point. I'm going to be on guard to the best of my ability. But I don't want to just assume that he's going to want to hurt me. He's going to try to hurt me. Like, I don't have that feel. There are a lot of creeps in this world. I seen this man today staring at this girl so bad walking down the street. And she had like a little short skirt. But I mean, she was dressed fine. So I'm not saying her outfit had anything to do with it. But I felt like, Jesus Christ, I'm happy that he didn't follow her. Because I felt like she would have been in harm's way. But I don't feel like all men are like that.
I went down a wormhole of dudes in bathrooms. And I had to get out of that. It made me think about when we parked in the park and the kids was with us and that guy was looking. It just made me think about, like, what is it with dudes and kids? Like, why would a man go stand in a woman's bathroom behind the door?
Yeah.
Like, how fucking obvious are you, dude?
How old would you say, like, when we had our kids here, my nephew's almost 7, my niece is 8, my other niece is 11. When we go to the bathroom, we all go to the bathroom together. He's almost 7. He's not going into the men's room by himself where I don't know who's in there. I'm not even letting my nieces go to the bathroom by themselves. But how old do you say, like, for a boy to go to the bathroom with his female parent or guardian?
As long as they feel comfortable. As long as they feel comfortable. Because anything can happen in a public bathroom. Like nowadays. So this was a question on the podcast the other day too, is do you take your daughter in the men's bathroom? If all the guys with daughters, do you take your daughter in the men's bathroom, or do you you take her in the woman's bathroom, or do you let her go in and wait? And mostly all the men said, I take her in the men's bathroom, and I take her in the handicap stall so I know she's safe. Like, I don't want to let her go in there by herself and stand outside, and I definitely don't want to walk in the woman's room to make everybody feel uncomfortable. So my daughter 8, my daughter 6, my daughter 10, she coming in the men's bathroom with me and going in the handicap stall.
You know what? The only thing that
especially if we're out together alone, like that's just...
I respect that. The only thing that made me hesitate is that, like, y'all be at the urinals with your penis out, but I guess a man would know how to, like, block her face and navigate.
And it was specifically the handicap stall. But
you got to walk past the urinals to get there.
They got urinal screens.
Okay, I mean,
and it's funny you say that. I'm in a building now where the bathroom has no urinal screens, and I always go to the last urinal and turn my back, because the first day I went, I was like, this is ludicrous. Like, there's no fucking screen here. Like,
I didn't know y'all had screens. I thought like they was just lined up. I mean, if I had a child who was with their dad, I wouldn't feel like one was right or wrong. Like, I would trust the dad to make the best decision. I wouldn't think it was wrong if, like, you knocked on a woman's door, like, hey, is there any ladies in here? I want to bring my daughter. Because the difference in women's bathrooms where there aren't any open urinals. Right. So once you're in the stall, you can't see any other ladies, so it's no violation. But and if I was a woman, I would completely understand if a man did that. But yeah, I think that's that is a dynamic that you have to consider if you're a dad with a daughter. Like, what do you do? I wouldn't even trust a stranger lady. I mean, because I think about myself. If a man asked me, I would not want to, because one, I don't want to be like responsible for, especially how young are they? Like, they gotta wipe themselves. Like, I'm not putting myself in that position.
There was a story of a lady in the airport who took her daughter to the bathroom, and she let her daughter go in the bathroom and was waiting outside with the bags. She was taking a little bit long. Finally, she goes in there. There's a dude in the bathroom, in the handicap stall, that got another coat on her daughter already. Her coat on the floor, and he got another coat on her. Like, the shit is crazy. Like, these videos is like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
you took my daughter coat off and got another coat on her?
You know how many,
can't tell me you not about to steal her.
You know how many bathrooms we, as a family, the 3 kids went in while they were here? We all went to the bathroom at Home Depot.
Hold on. And then the boldness to think that you're going to walk the fuck by me
and I'm not going to notice
with another coat on?
That's some crazy stuff.
Man.
We all went to Home Depot bathroom. We all went to Walmart bathroom. We all went to Target. Like, nobody, like, I'm just not playing that. But back to the original questions of bear versus man, I just feel like, and again, there are a lot of bad people in this world, men and women. There's a lot of men that will do vile things to women. I don't want to just assume that, you know, the chances are highly likely. Like, to even think that it's a 50%, I mean, yeah, it's a 50% chance, but I would want to think, like, is it maybe just a 10% chance that he's going to hurt me? That's sad to think that with every man there's a 50-50 chance. You know what that does to your nervous system to kind of have to live on eggshells like that?
Well, it's like, it speaks to what I always was saying about women, how I feel bad for y'all, because again, if you're out the woods in a parking lot and it's dark, it's night, and this fucking man is in there, you're scared to death. Yeah. But in the woods, you take your chances. You're like, fuck it, I think this man might be nice to me.
And it's one of them.
But in the parking lot, you don't think, oh shit, I'm by myself. I'm this man might, like, you don't think he might be nice to me. You think this motherfucker might, I'm in a parking lot, he might do something to me.
Well, because there are some situations where you
open the elevator and here's a man on there, you're like, all right, I'll take the next one.
There are some situations where you can't give somebody else the benefit of the doubt, where you will end up being the downfall of that situation.
So why do it in the woods? Why give him the benefit of the doubt when he's a human and he got skills and he know what to do and he know how to hunt for you?
Because the bear will kill me.
Okay. It's your answer, babe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again, if it's a horse, if it's a donkey, if it's I would even take my chance with an elephant, even though they can be murderers too. But a bear, I don't know. Like, that's just an animal. I feel like I would be very afraid of a bear.
That's what I think is fear-based, that your decision is based on.
Yeah. I was recently in a situation. I was going to a meeting, and in the building. It was a lady at the front desk, and she asked the security guard. She was like, you know, can you take her up to whatever floor it was on? And I wonder if all women do this. Like, you know, I get in the elevator and I stand like in the back corner so I can see everything. And he was a small dude, but I'm like sizing him up. Like, I'll whoop his ass. He tries something in here. Like, but I mean, he at work, so you wouldn't think, even though you got that situation.
People rape at work.
Yeah, the medical assistant who was, you know, doing
kill
things.
At work. They'll rape at work.
But I'm just like, I mean, and don't get me. We literally went from, I think, from like the first to the third floor. So it wasn't like but it's just that thought in your head, like, if he tries something, like, yeah, I could get him, you know.
So what if the guy in the woods, you sizing him up and you like, oh, he's 6'6", he's like 320, like he got muscles and shit, like ain't no way in the world he gonna pick me up just like this bear is.
You better bite his jugular, like do something. You better learn some defense mechanisms.
Okay, 3 grams, go.
So recently I saw a story about Michael Rainey.
Yes.
He was in a party.
He was on a stream with a up-and-coming YouTube streamer, very popular kid. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he was there on his stream, and the kid's sister groped his genitalia, like on camera. Like, well, I think he had like 100,000 people, and she walked up to him and just groped him, and he like kind of looked like eyes big, and then he grabbed his crouch, and she still was groping. It was like a 15-second grope. Like she was groping him, and then the kids was jumping around and playing and laughing, and she just was groping. And then like 20 minutes later, he left, and then he kicked his sister off the live and was like, you know, why the fuck you do that? And he got real mad at her. But my thoughts?
Yeah, what's your thoughts?
I think it's a double standard. I think for men, it's hard for us to get groped on and go to the police and say, lock this lady up because she groped me. It's no different than you walking through a club and somebody smacking you on your ass. A girl that think you cute, they got a little liquor in them, they might pinch your butt, smack your butt. You in a strip club, like all kinds of shit happen like that. And now I've never like had a girl walk up and just grab my junk in a club, but getting smacked on the butt, getting pinched on the butt, you experience that. But to turn around right there and be like, what the hell is your problem? I want you to go to jail, get her out of here. I don't think that is something that men do. And I think that's a double standard that we live with, because we just keep it pushing. We don't go outside of ourselves to feel, not saying that y'all do, but we don't go outside of ourselves to feel violated. Like, oh my God, this girl.
But do you in fact think that it was a violation?
It's wrong. It's definitely wrong, but that's the double standard. It's wrong. I'm acknowledging it's wrong. It's just as bad as if it was a woman and a dude grabbed her ass. But as men, we don't or aren't wired. Society hasn't allowed us to stop in a moment and say, I feel violated. This girl, hot ass girl who thinks I'm cute, her way of getting my attention, grabbed my ass, and I want to lock her up for sexual assault. That's just something that men aren't going to do. And with women, if it's vice versa, if Michael Rainey goes over there and grabs a handful of pussy and starts rubbing it for 15 seconds, he loses everything he has. It's a problem. He goes to jail. Yeah. And that's bad. But if you're saying it's just as equal, a man should be able to do that, but men won't do that. Especially
it's recorded.
Yeah.
Like
on camera? Yeah. There's nothing to talk about.
If that's your son and you see like this is circulating on social media, what's your advice to him right now? As a dad?
Well, I would want to talk to him and ask him how he feel. Like, do you feel violated? Like, do you think this is, I would want to just lay out, like, this is probably what's going to happen if you go to court and do all this shit. But you make your own decision, man. Like, if you feel violated, I don't know. Okay, I don't want to teach you that this is cool, right? And then you get to Hollywood and they pull a Terry Crews on you, and it's a man who do this shit to you, and you remember my dad told me like this type shit is cool.
If
it's par for the course.
I really don't know what to do. Like, I'm coming to you for advice. What do you like? What would you do? What would you do? What should I do?
That's tough, man. Because I would have, my decision would have to be based on are you hurt? Do you feel, all right, I know you don't know what to do.
I'm embarrassed.
Okay,
I feel
that's not hurt. Do you feel violated?
Yeah, like, I mean, I didn't want her to touch me in that way, you know.
Are you mad?
I'm embarrassed, not mad.
I don't think you should do anything because you're embarrassed.
Okay, now flip. It's your daughter. She on, you know, TV.
That's the double standard.
No, I'm asking you. She like that, and I'm not like. Let's not even take it to the coochie, right? Because that's like absolutely like. So let's say, you know, she is a star or whatever, and she's recording, and they like woo woo woo, and do like a guy does that to her boobs. And she like, Dad, what should I do?
Tell me his address.
So you gonna handle it with street justice?
Tell me his address. Set up some type of, this is your engineer at the studio. Tell him you coming tomorrow at noon. And okay. I'm gonna take you.
Okay.
That's what you're gonna do.
It's a shame.
Act like it's cool and tell him you're booking a session for tomorrow.
It definitely is a double standard. There was recently some conversation about Ray J, an interview that he did, talking about him being 40 and a 30-year-old woman grooming him, taking care of all of his needs, making his body feel good. And it's one of them things where young boys are applauded for dating. Like, even when we hear about the stories about teachers dating young boys, and it's like, like that. Damn, he hit the teacher he got the teacher. That's the double
standard, and it's molestation in some cases, like you said, and it's grooming in some cases.
And all, what do you mean some?
Because some is molestation, some is grooming.
Like so
that's what I'm saying. They all can. It gotta be some and some.
I was referring to those that involve sexual encounters. Then yeah, it's a sad thing that you gotta, that. I can't imagine being a parent and having, those double standards.
And you have a son and a daughter.
Yeah.
And it's like the principal calls and says, okay, your daughter was groped by this boy, you're going to be highly furious. But if they say your son, this girl grabbed him.
Yeah.
Are you going to push the issue like you would with your daughter? You going to want to see parents, or you going to want them suspended? You going to want them out the class? Like.
Yeah. Well, talking about, calling the cops, whether it should be reported or not, Bun B recently took the stand in the case regarding the home invasion. The guy, it was a home invasion at his house. The guy held his wife hostage, threatened her life, put a gun to his head, all of that. Bun B ended up shooting him. And
should have killed him.
And I think we talked about this a little bit last week too. Is he a snitch?
No, absolutely not. I don't think so. I listen. If you're not, first off, you got to allow for grace. If this dude was from the street years ago and is in restaurants now and not doing the same street shit he was doing 20 years ago, then you got to allow for some reform. So if he's just paying a citizen that's paying taxes, and somebody at home invades his house where his children lay and his wife lays, and they hold her hostage and hold a gun to her head, and the cops come and say, what's going down, and you shot the guy, they lock him up, you got to go to court. You should go to court. Yeah. You shouldn't be like, I'm not, like, you're not in that world no more. I think street shit is for street shit. If that's what they want to do. That's for street shit. But a regular person, my wife walking out the house and somebody, they do something to her. Yeah, we're going to court. We're going to court. We want to see this person in jail. Like, we're not doing street shit no more.
Yeah.
We're not, that's not a part of our life. So yeah, we're everyday tax-paying citizens.
40 years. You think that's a reasonable sentence? Is it too harsh, too light, just right?
Home invasion, you threaten to kill? Nah. That's too light. It's too light. Because when I put myself in them situations and I think about you, somebody doing something to you, breaking in our house, doing some shit like that, nah. 40 years, nope. Not at all. I need you to have life at that point. So that's just how I see it. Last gram. Age restrictions in restaurants. There's a restaurant, I think it's open in, I want to say Brooklyn. Might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I want to say Brooklyn, but age restriction restaurants, no children. You got to be 30 and up.
I like it.
I do too.
I mean, it's a vibe.
It says that you're
looking for a certain audience.
Yeah,
and I like,
certain crowd.
And I like the fact that it's not 21 and up because
you still got knuckleheads.
Well, not even. I don't even necessarily want to say knuckleheads. It could be people not doing anything negative, but a 21 to 28-year-old crowd is different than a 30 to 39-year-old crowd, which is even different from, you know, a 40 to 45-year-old crowd. But that 21-year-old crowd, they could just be having a great time, buying food, spending their money, looking great, maybe a little twerking. They want hookah and all.
We ain't doing that.
But
I don't want to be in no restaurant where they twerking.
That's what I'm saying. It may be allowed, but I like the fact that it's not just 21 and up or just 18 and up, because a 21-year-old is an adult, a 45-year-old is an adult, but that's different. So I like that 30 and up. I wouldn't mind that kind of environment. It's like when we went roller skating, right? The first time we went, it was like adult R&B night. And when we went, the crowd was like our age. And then another time we went, it was still adult hour, but this was 18 and up. That's all I'm talking. I'm just talking about the age. Okay. It was 18 and up. And I'll admit, I didn't like it. I almost had a panic attack. I never had a panic attack before.
Almost?
Well, maybe I did. Yeah. I cried because I just...
And lie attack.
I couldn't take it. But it wasn't because of the age. It was just environment that I wasn't prepared for. It was an overstimulation and the fear... Like not
all
of
the
people.
Things that causes panic attacks.
Yeah, it was just a lot. It was too much. But the point is, the 18 and over crowd was allowed because it was adult night. But when we was at adult night with the 40s, it was like, this is a vibe. Like, I like this. So I like the idea of a 30 and up restaurant.
That was the last grand, but I do have a caveat to say, because we talked about this on a previous pod. Caitlin Clark was left off the Olympic team for whatever reason, because the 12 girls that's on the team have five or more years experience. Really quick, the girls Olympic team won like the last 12 gold medals or some shit like that. They never lose. So it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to win this gold because they always mop up the all the other competition. But this is this is one of the things I talked about, where it's like, whoever is in charge of the WNBA and want the money and all this to come to the WNBA, they keep dropping the ball. To not put this girl on the Olympic team, whether she plays or not, is flat out stupid. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and the other girl, I'm missing her name, all should be on the Olympic team because they all have millions of eyes on them. So whether you play them for 2 minutes when the score is out of hand and they can get in there for some scrub time, whatever, but the fact that they're the fact that they're on the team, millions of people will look at the sport and watch, and the eyes will grow and people will be more interested. You're dropping the ball not putting Caitlin Clark on this because it's like oh, she's a rookie, she's undeserving, she don't have the years in. Like, you have a flaming, like, she's as hot as fish grease. Like, so when you put her out there for 2 minutes, millions of people are going to buy her jersey. They're going to buy Asia's merch. They're going to buy Angel Reese's merch, and millions of people that follow them are going to watch them. That's why everybody's looking at the league now. So for y'all to just be like, nah, you can't be on the team because you don't have the years experience, it's just flat out stupid. I just think that's the dumbest thing ever. And then y'all whine about their salaries aren't high. Why do they make $70,000? Why can't we fill a stadium? This is why. Because whoever makes these decisions, they're fucking up. Like, this is the Olympics. The world is watching. And, again, a foregone conclusion that y'all going to win because y'all always win. So put them out there. When the score is out of hand and y'all up 60, put Angel Reese in. If she's a rookie, put Caitlin Clark in. I bet you the place will go crazy and everybody would see them and everybody would see the sport and y'all would get more eyes, sell more tickets, sell more jerseys, make more money, higher salaries. It's like easy. That's it.
You got that off.
Act 2 the podcast, episode 179, coming to a close. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcast Player, FM, on all the platforms you can catch us on.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-host with the mostest.
And it's your boy International Walt.
Set your boundaries, stick to them, stand on it.
10 toes down.
10 toes down.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.